Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. If you've ever felt like your voice didn't matter, like your story wasn't worth sharing, you're not alone. At the Empowerography Live in-person conference this year, we brought together voices from around the world, women who chose to stand up, speak out, and share stories that changed lives. And here's the truth. Your voice matters too. If you've ever felt that pull to share your story as a guest on a podcast, to start your own podcast, or step into your power, this isn't random. It is your invitation. Head over to empowerographypodcast.com and see how you can turn your voice into impact, because your story isn't just yours. It's someone else's survival guide. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Ana Pashyanti. She is a guide who helps others on their paths of healing and awakening into the limitless horizon of possibility that we call human potential through meditation and energy healing practices to empower others to heal and dissolve what stands in the way of their true inner peace and joy. Welcome, Ana. How are you doing today?
Thanks, Brad. I am so excited for our conversation.
I am as well. Thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today. I cannot wait to jump in and share about all the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you're doing, as well as a bit about your story, your journey. So with that being said, let us jump right in and get started. So I'd love to know, before you ever held space for others, there must have been a catalyst moment where your own world cracked open, which started you down this path that you're on now. So what broke and what truth rushed in through those cracks?
Everything broke. My entire world collapsed. Yeah, everything collapsed basically at once, although it was a process of many years. So basically, I know I'm not the only one, like a lot of us, I basically gave my power away to everyone else, society, just everybody. And it was a number of decades in this process of ignoring my inner voice and basically trying to fit into a world that just didn't feel comfortable, that really I didn't feel like I fit into. And so it was decade after decade of basically giving away everything that was me and locking that away. And so then I continued to try to keep that going as long as I could. But basically, by the time I finished my PhD, I was completely I was on the road to, let's see, how do I put this? On the road, it's basically on the path of no return, basically. Yeah, that's what I want to say. So I ended up living in a trailer without running water, without electricity even, next to a cockroach farm in the middle of the woods in Eastern Germany.
Wow.
And not only was I just out in the middle of nowhere, which is nice in itself, nature's great, but I was basically diminished into a shadow of myself. So the people around me, which weren't many, were all against me. They were all just attacking me and just making life miserable and trying to pick a fight and all this stuff. And I was like, can life get any worse? Yeah. So eventually I gave up. I gave up everything. I left my relationship at the time, all of my friends there, my home, my country, and my plan for my life. And I ended up at my parents' kitchen table, not having anywhere to live or any direction to go. And that was my early 30s. I finally, for the first time in my life, sitting at that kitchen table, staring into the bleak nothingness of that dreary February day, I finally, for the first time, asked myself, what do I really want? as simple as that. What do I really want out of life? And that was the
Mhm.
first time I asked myself that in my entire life, as long as I could remember.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it was only I only asked that because I was at ground zero. I had nothing left. No one else was supporting me. All of my friends had disappeared. It's just like they all left, everyone. And I realized I had nothing else except what was inside me. So I asked
Mhm.
myself that question, and the answer came immediately. And the answer came with sparkles in the air, and it was like super magical. And I was completely surprised. The answer was twofold. I wanted to go to Istanbul and I wanted
Mhm.
to learn about consciousness. And of course, I didn't know how that was going to play out. I had just heard inklings of ideas about consciousness. I didn't know what it was. I was
Mhm.
learning about physics and sort of the quantum physics level, which helped me
Mhm.
get into the path of consciousness, but I really didn't know what it was. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't speak Turkish. And I had no idea if I could take my little remote job, my laptop over there, if they would have internet. I had no
Mhm.
idea if anything would work, but I did it because I had no other choice. So I moved to Istanbul, not knowing anything, the language or anything. And I had the most amazing experiences that changed my life completely. I'll say randomly, but it wasn't random. Randomly came into a group of people who were just from all over the world, but
Mhm.
basically they were in the Sufi tradition. So I ended up magically, I'll say again in quotation marks, hearing this amazing music. I didn't know what it was, some kind of chanting music. I was like, I've been
Mhm.
looking for that my whole life. I didn't know what that was. And so they said, okay, it's time, come with us. And they sat me down and I went into a meditation for the first time in my life. And that was it. I had insane experiences, which I still can't completely understand and explain. But
Mhm.
basically, I was shown the golden grid or Indra's net, as far as I can understand it. It's the fabric of reality. And
Mhm.
it changed my life forever. After that, I started asking questions. I went on basically a pilgrimage throughout half the globe. Still continued. It's never over. That was how I got started, and I never looked back. I had a lot more to do. I had a lot of healing work to do after that, but that was what broke me open. Finally, having everything collapse. I didn't just break it open out of curiosity. My life collapsed and
Yeah.
forced me to learn that.
Burn to the ground and start rebuilding from the foundation up again. That takes a lot of strength and courage to endure and to go through, for
Yeah, it's
sure.
like when you have nothing left to hold on to, you
Mhm.
literally just have to trust the universe because there's nothing else you can do. There's no other choice.
Absolutely, 100%. And so what part of yourself then did you meet in the darkness that ultimately became your greatest teacher?
I actually will say that I found my wings because
Mhm.
it was in that space of groundlessness
Mhm.
where my legs and my feet didn't do anything to help me. I had nothing to stand on, metaphorically speaking. I was forced to fly. It was like someone pushing off a cliff, and I discovered I had wings time before
Mhm.
hitting the ground. So it's basically that. It's that all of my striving and clinging on to the people and the circumstances in my life that I thought I needed to survive, all of that was keeping me tethered to the ground. And when it
That's a
collapsed,
stark realization.
yeah, yeah, it's so hard to realize because you have to let everything you go. It literally feels like you could die when you do that.
Mhm.
Anyone who's been
But
through,
again, like you said, it's trusting and allowing.
yeah, yeah, it's the scariest thing.
So what part of your awakening then scared you the absolute most? Not because it was dark, but because it meant you could never ever go back.
Yeah, it was basically when I realized I had to leave the confines of my own reality. It wasn't exactly dark. I had been through the dark my whole life.
Mhm.
I had been depressed and just repressed, just all of my creativity and all of my expression. All of that had been already my first few dark decades. I actually couldn't speak until I was about 20 years old. I'm only exaggerating just a little bit because I could speak to my
Mhm.
immediate family, siblings, and parents. But anyone
Mhm.
beyond that, I literally could not put a sentence together. I was so blocked.
Wow.
Yeah. So blocked. I was completely walled off from the world. I was living in my head. So
Mhm.
that ended up with a lot of darkness, a lot of depression, a lot of shame and embarrassment, feeling forced to try to fit in some way. And it was all very dark. And when that finally collapsed around me, I was like clinging to the walls of a cage that I had built myself.
Mm-hmm.
And once that finally fell away, I realized that I like this. I'm a risk taker. I'm an explorer. I'm actually having a great time now. I actually like to fly. I like not knowing where things are going. I like being completely free and not having a path set before me to follow. I actually like this. I ended up traveling the world and I loved it. I loved the freedom and the openness and flying, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So it was scary, but I actually realized I liked it, crazily enough.
Yeah. Once you got out of that self-imposed cage, which we all put ourselves in from time to time, is these cages that we create for ourselves and put ourselves in, and we don't even realize we have the key all along.
Exactly. It's only when you're forced to open that door do you realize you could
Yeah.
have any time.
Yeah, exactly. And so what has healing, because the healing process is never ending, it's always ongoing. So what this far in your journey has healing forced you to sit with that you had spent years avoiding?
I had spent years avoiding not only expressing myself, but boundaries also. So basically, any form of being in my own body and energy field, I had avoided because it somehow wasn't fitting into the world. So I just decided to let that all go, let myself go, and just let society dictate what it wanted. And so basically, that was probably the hardest lesson of all the lessons I have learned in this life. That was the hardest lesson, was to have boundaries, to have a sense of self.
Mhm.
And I will share the reason why I refused to learn that is because I thought I was being a good person by not having boundaries. And
Mhm.
so I had many chances to learn that, and I refused to. Let's say when I was a little kid, I was already empathic. I was feeling into people's energies, and I was trying to just figure out what to say to make them feel better. My family,
Mhm.
lots of conflict and kind of arguing and that kind of thing. And so I would ignore my own expression and my own needs to fix them, basically.
Mhm.
And that when that continued on, and finally when I was adult, in the situation in Germany I mentioned at the beginning, when all the people around me were trying to pick a fight and trying to have this, there was some jealousy and there was just random drama stuff.
Yeah.
And I would feel attacked all the time, but I would never defend myself. And I came to a decision. At the time, I thought I had only two options. One, I could become cold and heartless like they are in order to protect myself. That was option one.
Mhm.
And option two was to completely stay self-sacrificing with my heart open and bleeding and people walk all over it. Those were the
Mhm.
two options that I saw. I did not see another option. And so to be the good person that I thought I was or wanted to be, I said, well, there's no way I'm going to close my heart. I'm definitely going for option number two, which is to let
Mhm.
people walk all over me. So even then, I did not choose to have boundaries and to be in my own energy even. So
Mhm.
what did that end up with? When I was finally forced to learn, and you're seeing a pattern here already of me really not wanting to learn my lessons in life
Mhm.
and being forced to do so very uncomfortably, how it finally changed. And I hope not everyone listening to this will have such a long and painful lesson. I hope they'll learn this sooner than I did. But the way I was forced to do this was actually I ended up meeting someone who took advantage of my kindness, took everything they possibly could, just all of my money, all of my time, everything, for years. Eventually, I tried to pull away, and then they started to brainwash me. So this person actually started to brainwash me, creating a world of lies so that I would live in fear.
Mhm.
And I was afraid to go out of the house because everyone could be part of this story that they had created for me. And at the
Mhm.
end, he actually had me hostage in his apartment, locked away with a
Jesus.
key. Yeah, I was there for weeks. And I thought he was the good guy. I thought he was protecting me. And I was locked
Mhm.
in. And eventually, when I kept asking questions like, are you really a hacker and you're really fighting against the
Mhm.
mafia who are trying to kidnap me? Really? Is that really true? Is that really true? And all of this stuff. And then when I kept trying to leave, he would then threaten my family and friends.
Jesus.
Yeah, just all out, punching holes in the wall. And I was like, okay, yeah, we're nearing the final stage of the lesson. It's either I'm not going to
Mhm.
survive or I'm going to learn my lesson
Yeah.
and I'm going to get out. Which one is it going to be? And
Mhm.
so I actually only by the grace of the divine did I escape, because I agreed to go to my last friend that I had and tell this friend that I would never see him again because my abuser basically didn't want that. But of course, when I got to my friend's house, he's, "What's wrong with you? What the heck is going
Hmm.
on?" You know?
Yeah.
So with the help of this friend, I did escape, but it was only through that divine grace that came through the help of my friend. Because if I had gone back to that person, I would have lost my life. He was getting violent. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So after I escaped, then of course the stalking starts, and that was another couple years of stalking and writing threatening messages to my family and friends, blah blah blah, all this stuff.
Hmm.
And why? Because I did not ever set one boundary in that whole situation. I never set a boundary. I never said, actually, I don't feel like helping you anymore. Actually, I need to have that time for myself. Actually, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I couldn't say that
Yeah.
because that person was very traumatized himself. Sure, we all are, and everything we do does come from that. We can have compassion. I always had
Yep.
compassion, but I had so much compassion, I didn't have any for myself.
Hmm.
And that was the balance I had not found. And I refused to learn it until then. And that story, finally escaping with my life, was what pushed me to finally learn the lesson of having a boundary, being in my own body and energy field, listening to what I need and want. Finally, please, whoever's listening, do not wait as long as I did.
Yeah, the universe keeps giving the signs, keeps showing them to us, and it's just a matter of how far and how long are we going to wait to see them and wake up
Exactly.
and take the message.
It's a matter of time only. And the longer you wait, the harder it gets. My goodness.
For sure. And so healing, of course, is not all light and love. It's fucking messy. It's grief. It's rage. It's surrender. It's brutal honesty. It's all the things. What was the hardest truth that you had to sit with on your path?
Probably that my self-sacrificing really wasn't helping anyone, because I thought I was doing a service to humanity by the self-sacrificing, by always making sure other people were getting their needs met, by trying to fix everyone's hurt feelings all the time. And that, I don't know if that was an identity, or you could say it was an identity, or it was just a limiting belief or whatever, but it completely changed the way I saw things when I realized my self-sacrificing was hurting people. It wasn't helping them. And that was so hard to learn. But enabling them really isn't doing them any good. And yeah, it was finding out that it was okay to prioritize myself, and that wasn't selfish, and that wasn't greedy, and that wasn't mean, and everything like that. That kind of
Most
thing.
importantly, that was hurting you. Most importantly,
Exactly.
the most important person.
Yeah, it was hurting me, but I was like, "Oh, I'm strong. I can take it." That's kind of my lifelong motto.
Yeah. Yeah. So how did your relationship shift once you stopped abandoning yourself in order to keep the peace?
Oh, yeah. At first, it wasn't easy. We had some blow-ups. We had some separations. I left the relationship at the time that I had, and it was not easy. Lots of conflict and drama sometimes. But after that, after things had settled down, after I got into the habit of prioritizing myself along with other people, not only did new people come into my life that liked to support me, but also the people from the past who were not respecting me before came back and said, "Oh, I understand now. I'm sorry. That was my
Wow.
fault. I'm sorry. That was my mistake. Please forgive me."
At least they own their shit,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
I
is
mean,
good.
and look at how my growth of setting a boundary and prioritizing myself, actually, that helps that other person
That's right.
grow as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
very selfless. We've been conditioned to believe that our own happiness, our own peace has to come second, and we need to put everyone else first, when it's the exact opposite. We need to do it the other way around, because in doing that, you are helping others around you. It's a completely selfless act by putting yourself first. We need
It
to
is.
shift the narrative on that and turn that around so that people realize that no, you have to put yourself first. You are the most important person.
You're so right.
And that's
You're
it.
so right. Yeah.
So, what part of healing do you think that people romanticize that you wish they understood is actually sacred, hard, messy work?
Yeah. About healing, people think that it's just zapping your pain with a crystal or a light ray to make it disappear. Yeah.
One and done.
Yeah. One and done. And it's just love and light. And it's obviously not that. You know why? Because we all come from source. And in source, that beautiful ocean of unlimited possibilities, that 0 point field of neutrality, basically, there is no duality in source. But
Mhm.
as soon as something is created, as opposed to something else, you have separate things and separate beings and separate objects. As soon as you have that,
Mhm.
you have duality, which means you have a yes and a no, you have light and dark, you have positive and negative. There's no
Mhm.
way you can have light without the dark unless you're
That's
back
right.
into source, right? And even then, it's not
Mhm.
all light, it's just all everything. It's both.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so it's even hard for me to comprehend, even still, that the darkness is not going away. However, that does not mean that we have to suffer.
That's right.
Maybe a lot of us come into this life, if you ask me, even before coming to this life, we come in here thinking that we have to suffer in order to learn. And I would like to challenge that belief, at least in part, because maybe it's not necessary to suffer. Maybe it's enough to just know that it exists, to know that the darkness exists along with the light, to witness that in a neutrality, in a neutral state, while going in the direction of what we prefer and choosing to create a happy life for ourselves and choosing the light and choosing to be how we want to be. Maybe we can do both. We don't have to suffer. So basically,
Yeah.
we want to accept all of creation and also live a life that we love and don't want to escape from. Basically, we have to, if you ask me, integrate the light and the dark.
Yes, you can't have one without the other. It's impossible.
Exactly. I wish it were different. If you ask this little person here.
Well, in order to have appreciation for the light, you have to know what the darkness is.
Yeah, exactly. It is exactly what you said. It's to appreciate the light. And so when we see the dark, we know, oh, okay, I don't want that. I would like the light instead.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we choose. You're so right. You hit it right on the head. You hit the nail on the head. Yes. I'm not a speaker, actually. I'm not really very verbally gifted. So, I might stumble on my words sometimes. But
that's okay.
It's better than it was when I couldn't talk. So I've made progress.
In your opinion, what is the biggest lie that we tell ourselves about being healed?
Two things. Firstly is that we are broken and need to be fixed. And the second is that we just get ourselves fixed and then we're done. So both of those things. And it's basically, the way I see it is opening more to the light of source. That's what we're doing when we're seeking happiness and when we want to fulfill our purpose, when we want to be happy, any of that. We are bringing in more source light into this material world because it's all source, but material objects and negative emotions, all that's kind of consciousness under pressure. It's compacted to get more dense. And so the dense energies show less light. It's like you have a diamond that is shining with source light, and then you have more density surrounding that diamond. Look like shadow. Look like it makes the diamond look darker. Like not as much light is shining through.
Yeah.
And what do we do with that? We don't just say, let's wash away all that dirt and throw it in the trash can so we can shine our light brighter. Basically, what we can do is dissolve the dirt, so to speak, by going into it, by accepting it, by welcoming it, not because we want to be suffering, not because we want to get stuck in it, but because we are dissolving it in the light of our awareness. So by consciously going into that pain, that density, that darkness, that our shadow, by consciously going into that, accepting it, welcoming the wisdom that it has, firstly, we can grasp all of that lessons, all of that learning, all of that wisdom that it has for us. And also we can transmute what's left into a different energy. I love physics, and no energy can be created or destroyed, but it can change its frequency.
Yeah.
And so with our intention, as we are connected to source and we have an infinite supply of source energy with our consciousness and our intention, with our intention, then we can transmute what's left into a different energy, into something we like, into a blessing, to bless the world. It's a process of alchemizing. It's a process of transmuting, not running away from anything or pushing it away. You see the difference?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So what does inner peace look like then when it's no longer passive, but it's powerful?
You know, what comes to mind is the image of the cat and the chicken. So I recently got a mother hen with her 11 baby chicks. It's summer down here in South America, so it was the perfect time. And I also have 8 cats. So I was concerned that the chickens were going to have some issues with the cats. But the cats don't need to prove anything. They just sit there. So the cat just sits there on his chair or on his blanket or whatever, and he is so confident. He is so at peace in himself. He knows exactly how powerful he is. He knows he could eat that chicken anytime, especially those little baby chicks. He has no doubt in his mind. He's not afraid. He is not worried about anything. He is confident. He's sitting there. He's totally at peace because he is empowered, because he feels his power. And he doesn't have to prove it to anyone. He doesn't have to protect himself. He is the king, basically. And then you have the chicken, and they run from everyone. They kind of roam free here on my homestead. And they run anytime anyone comes near. They're hyper vigilant, constantly looking around to see if there are any predators around, which they should do. It keeps them alive. That's great. That's what chickens do.
Yep.
But that is the difference. So then when you have your confidence and you are tapped into source and you have your infinite supply of healthy power, of healthy confidence, of inhabiting your own energy field, and you have your boundaries. Yeah. When you're so aware of your own power, you don't have to be hyper vigilant. You don't have to be looking around, looking from whom you should be defending yourself. Yeah. In a kind of a state of fear or anxiety. You can be the cat sitting there peacefully watching the chickens, not doing anything, not hurting the chickens, but just peacefully, calmly, confidently hanging out, knowing that anything you want in life you can have. That's the difference.
That's inner peace. Love it. So in your work, what do women most need permission to feel, express, or reclaim, do you think?
For sure, it's their power, but what kind of power? I would say in the form of intuition, because at least from where I'm coming from, that was the easiest to ignore. And so all of our inner power comes from, and not only women, but especially, comes from our connection to our true self, to source, to our unique soul. And when we have our intuition open, and that doesn't mean we have to be activated by some kind of special frequency and explode open with our psychic gifts or anything like that. Not at all. But if we can feel when something is right or wrong for us, if we can discern, we can have that intuitive connection with our own body. We can feel, we can discern what is right and wrong. We can discern what is the truth and what is right for us. All of that is our power.
Yeah.
And so for anyone, it's not only hearing the voice saying what's a good idea to do, that kind of thing. Not just that, it's really feeling in your body. And I do a lot of somatic work. It's really feeling in your body what is true and what is right. For me, I think that is power, because if you have nothing else in life, if you have nothing left to stand on, if you have no one to support you, you have no idea what direction to go, and you don't even know what to think, you've got your body. You always have your body.
That's right. That intuition we have forgotten because it's been so far pushed. It's been pushed so far down within us because of societal conditioning, all of the things, all the outside forces have made us forget that we have that. And we all have it. Every single person on this planet has intuition, and that is your gift. That's your North Star. That's your navigation system.
So true.
It's everything.
Yeah.
So what daily practice for you has been the most non-negotiable in keeping you grounded, clear, and open?
You'd think I would say meditation, because I am a meditation teacher and I do work with energies and all the dimensions and that kind of thing. But I'm going to say being in nature, actually, is my non-negotiable. I'm in the middle of a jungle right here in South America on purpose. I love it here. And I really find that any little bit of nature that you can connect to can be as grounding and as supportive as any kind of meditation or energy work that you do.
Meditation in nature. There you go.
Yeah.
Combine the best of both worlds.
Yeah, of course. Take it up a notch for sure.
Yeah.
It can get so much better. There's always more to discover, but
Yeah.
just go out and hug a tree or put your bare feet on the ground just a little bit. It's so incredible because that's where our bodies come from, obviously. And so it's especially in the spiritual field, a lot of times we want to ignore the body and the goal.
The body has all the answers, all of them.
Yeah, right? It's incredible. And sure, it's not all that there is. The body is not all that exists, of course. And we want to understand that. But then we also don't want to just ignore it and try to escape the mundane world and go off into the other dimensions, because there is so much here. There is so much divinity and magic and light in nature, in our bodies, in the physical world. And it's all part of that, all of that. You can't say something is not spiritual. You know?
Yeah, for sure. What is one small but very powerful shift someone can make today to start coming back into alignment with themselves?
Learn from me and ask yourself the question, what do I really want?
But see, you know what I'm going to say here, Anna, when I've spoken to people about this or I've asked that question, and I was just speaking about this yesterday with a woman, she says, we ask people what they want and the answer is typically, I don't know what I want.
Yeah.
So sit with yourself in silence, figure it out, because I think we all know what we want. It's just a matter of uncovering or remembering what it is.
Exactly right. Because if you had asked me that before I had my awakenings, I would also have said, I don't know. Also. Yeah. Because not only do we ignore that, but we don't even think it's possible. We don't even think there's anything there. It's been so long.
Yeah.
So there is something there. And the harder life gets and the louder the universe's messages become, the closer you are to asking yourself that question. You're going to find out eventually that there's something there that needs to be heard inside.
Yeah.
So, yeah, great point.
What is one way, in the work that you do and the people that you've worked with, what is one way that people unknowingly block their own energy, and how can they gently unblock that?
They need to feel their emotions. That is, for me, I would say the most important thing anyone can do to not only, let's say, to listen to their intuition and really tap into their own inner voice and inner wisdom and purpose and direction, all of that. Not only that, but feeling your emotions is healing. It's actually doing the healing work. Because when we're stuck in an emotion and we are depressed for years, and yes, I've done that, I know what that is not feeling your emotions. That is repressing them, resisting them. And the way to feel your emotions, some people don't even know how to feel their emotions. They're so blocked. That wasn't something I struggled with because I was very emotional, at least. With all the things going on, I stayed very open, sensitively in a way. But some people really don't even know what they're feeling if you ask them.
Yeah.
And so the first step would even be to tune in just randomly throughout the day. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? And you don't have to really identify it, but you have to go into your body. And you just feel the body. Like how many times we want to avoid feeling the body for however many reasons. And every emotion has a physical sensation to it. If you really feel into it, it's got a physical sensation. And so it's just, if you can get your awareness in your body and feel whatever the sensation is there, that's already the first step. And then once you can do that, and you can, in order to do that, you can do things like a body scan meditation. There's lots of that out there. Slowly moving your awareness into your body. And then once you feel the sensations in your body, just not resisting any of them. If you feel some pain or some tension, you firstly allow and accept that. Okay, it's just there. That's fine. I'm not going to fight against it. Just accepting that it's there. And then allow yourself to really feel that. You really bring it out. You can say, hey, fear or anger, welcome. You are welcome here. I welcome your wisdom. Let it move how it wants to move. Let it just flow through you. Let it burn through you. It might not be comfortable. Let it burn through you. Just let it go where it wants to go. And that process of feeling your emotions, that is actually healing in itself. Why? Because emotions that we don't feel, that get repressed, they get stored in the subconscious. And that really means stored in the body. Because we can feel it, we can access it by going into the body. So when we welcome that emotion, who knows how many decades it's been there? It could have been 5 minutes, it could have been 5 decades. And welcome that, we let it move through us. It's the unconscious becoming conscious. It's joining with our conscious mind again. That is dissolving in the light of our awareness. It's not disappearing. It's changing frequency to become united with our main consciousness. And when we do that, we have so much power at our disposal. We have all of this energy now that we can use to create new things in life. Just feel emotions. Yeah, right?
Because stuck emotions manifest in dis-ease in our bodies. This is sickness.
Yeah.
So exactly. Yes, I love what you're saying. Let the emotions flow through you. Feel them. Don't push them down. Feel through them. Let them flow through you. Just don't stay stuck in them. Let them pass through you. Acknowledge that they're there and feel them.
Exactly. And that is a great point that you mentioned, not to get stuck in it, because what can help us get stuck, like not help, but what can make us get stuck is falling back into those loops of story, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, this person said that and this thing happened and all this story.
Yeah.
Those mental loops can keep us stuck. And when we go into the body, we're not thinking of anything. We're just feeling.
Yeah. Love it. Thank you for sharing that. What's something that you wish that more people understood about the timing of healing and awakening?
It definitely is divine timing. I know it doesn't feel like it at times. It really always is, because it's like the river, the current of life that we think about sometimes. Yeah, I see it, the way I see it, we have 3 options. One, we can fight against the current, and we can try to make things happen when it's not the right time, and we can try to force things and resist things and try to manifest things that aren't supposed to happen yet, that kind of thing. We can also passively let go and say, I'm going to surrender, and just float along with the current of life, which takes a lot less energy than fighting against the current.
Yeah.
But I think there's also a third option, which is to swim along with the current, so that we are tapped into source, we are tapped into the divine order and timing. And the more tapped in we are, we can take action from that, feeling the divine timing move us into the right place at the right time. It's like working with the divine in a greater connection. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So how can someone begin to trust themselves again after years of self-abandonment like you did?
Yeah, that is exactly what I went through. And I have to say, just remember the alternative. Remember what it was like when you didn't do that. It's too painful to continue like that, to keep abandoning yourself. And so try a little bit every day. Ask yourself what you want. And if you think you don't want anything, if you don't know what you want, keep asking, keep opening up. And if there's something in the way, like perhaps there's resistance in the way, perhaps there's a belief that you're not allowed to want something, you're not allowed to really listen to your heart's desires, all of that can be healed. And you do the healing work, even if you just stay with the somatic feeling process of healing. If you just stay with that and feel whatever resistance comes up when you ask yourself what you want. So you need to care for yourself or set a boundary or that kind of thing. If you have some resistance to that, feel in the body where that is and allow it and heal it that way. You will love when you finally start trusting yourself and your intuition. It will change your life.
Yeah. Beautiful. Take it from Anna. She knows. She's been there.
Yeah, I wish it hadn't been so hard, but yeah.
So for the woman listening who feels like she's standing at the edge of her own awakening, what do you want her to know about that moment before everything starts to change?
If something's collapsing right now, great. Wonderful. Congratulations. It is making room for the new. You don't discard the past. You welcome the lesson and the wisdom from that. You've learned a lot. It has made you who you are. We can accept and welcome all of that while thanking the universe that finally there is room for something new. So, like I felt like I was pushed over a cliff, let yourself be pushed over, let yourself fall, and you will discover your wings. Your wings will open and you will fly.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Anna. If the woman listening right now stopped trying to fix herself, because as you mentioned, nobody's broken. Nobody needs to be fixed. We just need support and guidance, I believe. And instead choose to remember who she's always been because she's forgotten. What do you believe would finally become possible for her if she did that?
Absolutely everything. And why? Because you are infinite. You are not only connected to source, you are a source. You are just a finger on the hand of source. We're all separate fingers, it's all the same hand. And so you have, whoever you are, you have an infinite amount of value, an infinite amount of power, an infinite amount of love and wisdom and compassion. And that is all available to you. We're just playing along in life, experiencing what it's like to feel small and weak. Fine, great. Like you said at the beginning, contrast is necessary to know in which direction we want to go. But everything is possible once you finally remember that you are an infinitely valuable source of light, and your light is shining out onto the world, making a difference. Just your very existence is a gift to the world.
I love that. It's true. Every single one of us is a gift to this planet. We are all unique. We are all special in our own way. And that's part of your gift. And we have these gifts within us. They were put into us for a reason. It is your duty and your responsibility to share those gifts. You are not the audacity that we have as human beings to think that we can deny our gifts to the world. They were given to you to share, to help humanity. So who the fuck are we to think that, no, I'm not sharing my gift? No, you are here to share. And we have more than one. Everyone has more than one gift, but you need to share them. That's why they were given to you. So share them, shine your light out into the world. The world needs it.
It's an obligation. I love how you said that.
If every listener left this episode after they listened to it with only one actionable step to align with their highest self, what would that step be?
To really hear your own voice and your inner wisdom, a lot of times you have to cut through the noise and tap into your own signal. Yeah. So I would recommend to start being able to really hear your own signal and your inner voice and your inner wisdom. Clear out those external energies outside of your field, please. Get rid of the external energies. We're all so connected. And everywhere we go, we pick up energies from other people and other things. We're not going to get rid of things that are our own energies, but get rid of the outside stuff. Yeah. Just intend that all external energies leave your field. Let's say when you come back from the supermarket or before you go to sleep at night, any of that, just intend and send all those energies out and then bring your own energy back in. If you just do that, you will be so much more tapped in. And you can hear your signal away from all of that noise, that energetic noise, because we're constantly bombarded by not only other people and their energies and their projections and their thoughts and their expectations, but also everything from the news, from the media, just the globally, on a global level, all of this stuff. Just send it out.
Yeah.
Look out where it needs to go.
Yeah. Don't absorb it. What does freedom mean to you, Anna, at the very deepest level, beyond status, money, recognition?
Yeah, freedom is part of my highest mission because I feel like we really have almost a slave mentality programmed into us throughout the generations, and whether it be consciously or unconsciously. Freedom is knowing the truth in my bones. It is feeling the truth, discerning, thinking for myself. That is what we are trained not to do on this planet. We are trained not to think for ourselves, not to discern the truth for ourselves. We are expected to believe someone else. So isn't it true?
It's true, because that's how they control people. This is what they want. When they don't want free thinkers in the world, because free thinkers, they can't control them.
They're not controllable.
They can't program them.
Exactly.
That's exactly it. For sure.
So allow yourself to discern the truth for yourself. Don't listen to me. Don't believe what I say just because I say it. We're all experts in something.
Yep.
You're an expert in your own experience, and you're an expert in what feels right to you. Stay
I
with
love
that.
that. Yeah. How do you define success?
Expansion of my consciousness, expansion of my wisdom and my growth. Every little bit counts. Every step counts. Even if it seems like a failure, it is a success if it has expanded you in some way. If you have
For
learned
sure.
something, if you have just become stronger, just the fact that you have survived, whatever it was, the fact that you survived and you didn't give up, you're still here. You have expanded, you have grown. How amazing is that? That is success.
Love it. What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Knowing my infinity, really being tapped into the infinite source of power and love to create the life that I want, because that's basically my whole mission, is empowerment, just like yours is. It's so necessary. Like we just talked about before, about being controlled fully and energetically. That's what both of us are doing. That's what we all should be doing, empowering ourselves and each other to be free, to be expanded, to tap into their infinite source, and to know that they are infinite, to know that they are infinitely powerful and shining that beautiful light. As cliche as it might sound, I talk about shining the light all the time because it's truly light. It's photons. Photons literally enter our bodies when we meditate. We're literally tapping into the source field. It's not just
the possibilities are infinite for us. We can achieve and accomplish anything we can set our mind to. Anything we can dream up, it's possible.
It's so true. Anything. There's no limits.
No, there's not at all. Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3 word answer type thing, okay? What is your favorite place on earth?
The Sahara.
Okay. Secret or hidden talent that you have?
House and furniture construction, homesteading.
Okay.
I can make yogurt and jam, all that stuff.
If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
How to fill their bodies with photons and shine their soul's light. Yeah.
What is one of your guilty pleasures?
Travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
One word that sums up your mindset.
Rewilding.
Rewilding. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. One book that changed your life.
I would have to say I Am That by Ramana Maharshi.
Okay.
Yeah.
One word that defines the woman that you are becoming.
Either a mystic or rewilding again, because rewilding is just going back to your true nature.
I love that. That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I created a bonus question that I did not send you ahead of time. How do you define love, both the kind you give and the kind you receive?
Love, in the most expanded sense of the word, I define as taking another as a part of yourself. I mean that your needs and the other person's needs are equally important, for example. Yes.
Love that. If you were to introduce yourself to me without mentioning your occupation, where you're from, your ethnicity, your nationality, your religion, all of these superficial day-to-day markers that we use in our lives, how would you introduce yourself to me?
I would say, hello, I am a finger on the hand of divine source, and so are you.
I love it. If you could step into my shoes and ask, what is the one question that you would ask yourself that I didn't ask you?
Ask, how did you learn to talk to people if you couldn't do it for the first 20 years of your life?
Okay, go ahead. How did you do that?
It's a lot harder than it sounds. Yeah, I took a shot of vodka and then I pretended. I did. I literally, I struggled for the whole year of teaching myself how to do this. I was reading books and that kind of thing. Really trying to make an effort every day to smile at someone on the sidewalk as I passed by them, if I knew them. That was I consider that success for that day if I smiled at someone. No, at the end of my year of struggling, I took a shot of vodka and I mimicked what other people were doing. I pretended to be like them. The vodka helped me, I will say. But that actually rewired my brain so that my brain knew what it felt like to talk to people, because it didn't know what it felt like before. It was like the neurons weren't connecting.
Wow. Wild. And that helped, and that changed the trajectory for you.
Yeah. After that, I knew how it felt, so I could turn it on, obviously, without drinking vodka.
Yeah, of course. Okay. If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
I think it would be my teacher, Elizabeth Wyson. She is incredible. She's a scientist and a mystic together. And I love putting that all together, spiritual and the physical. Yeah, I love her. She's amazing.
Okay. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
To follow your dreams now, not tomorrow, but now, and to know that if you do, the world will not fall apart.
Very important. Yes, the world will not fall apart. Lastly, Anna, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your corner of the world, your tribe, your people, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
I would just like to encourage people to bring in more light, and that is more of your own soul's light by calling in source directly. You can do that directly through meditation and through self-inquiry, through practicing the witness observer state, that kind of thing, or, and probably both, you can also polish the diamond, like we talked about before, to let the light shine through, which is just healing and integrating the density and the shadow that's getting in the way. So in both of those ways, letting more of your soul's light through, because like you said, Brad, the world needs that. The world needs you shining at your best and your brightest.
Beautiful. Beautiful way to end the interview. Anna, thank you so much for taking and making the time to spend with me, to share your story, your journey. I've thoroughly enjoyed every minute of our conversation. Thank you for showing up and shining your light here today with me. I appreciate you being here. I am grateful to call you a friend, to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. And thank you for sharing. I appreciate the time that I got to spend with you today.
Amazing, Brad. Thank you so much. You are incredible. You are so inspiring. And thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you. I received that. I appreciate that. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest has been Ana Pashyanti. She is on the path of helping others heal and awaken into the limitless horizon of possibility that we call the human potential through meditation and energy healing practices to empower others to heal and dissolve what stands in the way of their true inner peace and joy. Thank you so much, Anna. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at viseuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.